Any light out there?
Lots of it.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Peninsula. Hello, Beth. Hello, Susan. Hello, world out there. Okay. Yeah. So today's program, if those of you who are already inspired by the music, we had wonderful meditation by our practitioner, Greg Hargrove. And then we had I and Laugh. Then comes me, and I am welcoming all of you. We're going to kickstart our program by having our mission statement. Let's see. And then my friend Joe has really gotten everything ready for all of us. For example, in case you don't remember what our mission statement is, I am going to find it on this wonderful piece that he had prepared for us. Okay, go next. Okay, are you ready? Okay, unmute yourself if you like, because I want to hear some voices besides mine. Okay, ready. Our mission is transformation through spiritual practice, education, service, empowerment, and by living inspired life.
Wow.
All right, good. Okay. So a little bit about our wonderful Center for Spiritual Living. We teach the study of life, the nature of the laws of thought, the idea that we live in a spiritual universe, that God or Spirit is in, through, around us, and this presence is a loving source of all good. Very important, of course, is that all of us are significant and needed. Doors are open to all. This service has been designed especially for you. Welcome home. Okay. So we have a program for today. You already heard our wonderful practitioner, Greg, and then our musician. We have in the area, you heard, Amy Steinberg. Yay! And then, of course, we're going to have the Kingdom Choir. Our wonderful message will be given to us by our Reverend Alan Young. And then, of course, I have assisting me as my tech host is none other than Joe Beckner. Okay. All right. Let's see. We have our licensed practitioners here. You heard from Grow. Any other practitioners in the audience, please? Come on, Beth. So are you. Wow. Wow, we are amazing. Okay, so all the practitioners are here to give your 1 minute miracle, but also to talk to them at length today. Let's see, anybody here for the first time today? Susan Rose, where did Susan Rose go? Okay, hi. That be the case. Okay, we're just happy that you're here. We're going to have the Zoom hangout afterwards. So let's focus on our heartfelt service for today. So, program, we have, oh, if we were meeting in person, we would be having what they call hugs. What do I want to do for if we go? We still want to be able to have community greeting. If you like, just to practice in the little chat box, pull it up and say hello to somebody or a word of cheer, just to know that we don't skip a beat when we go online. We still have important messages to have. Okay. Does everybody know how to do the chat box? All right. Yeah, one that goes for everybody and one goes for particular everyone. So I'm going to say, and then there you have that little emoji. If you want to have that, you can have all kinds of stuff to go with it. Like I'm going to have on my part. Okay. Okay, so much for that. So much for that. All right. So right now, I'm going to bring up our practitioner today. He is going to be introducing the affirmation of the day and kickstart our program. So our practitioner, Greg Hargrove.
If you want the second music now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, let's have Amy Steinberg go before we hear from Greg. Joe, you said that my whole screen shows, so if yours show just the slide itself, let's just go for that. Amy Steinberg. Amy, oh my goodness, if you have ever seen Amy in person, she is just like abundance of energy, abundance of talent. I've even seen artwork of hers hung in Reverend Linda's house. Yeah, that is how multi-talented that woman is. So, all right, let's bring some other talents here. Didn't I say earlier on that I would bring our practitioner? He is going to be giving us our weekly affirmation, but he also is such good with prayer. So let me bring up Greg. And Greg, should I show our affirmation? Why not?
Yes, let's show that. And we'll say together, I elevate my awareness through practicing the presence
Presence
of
of
God.
God.
Yes. Nice affirmation. And now, since today is, does anyone know what's special about today other than the fact that all days are special?
It's International Day of Peace.
Exactly, the United Nations official International Day of Peace. So, in light of that, I went into our Bible textbook and see what Ernest Holmes has to say about peace, and I thought that would be a good open treatment for us. So I invite you to go within and just take in these words from our founder. Be still and know that I am God. I am the principle of peace within. I am the manifestation of love within. My mind is poised in peace and beauty. All sense of fear or doubt is gone, and I rest in calm trust, relying on the law of spirit to bring good into my experience. I contend with none, argue with none, for I am filled with wonderful peace and light. There is no uncertainty about my future and no fear as a result of my past. I live in an eternal now, which is filled with good alone. Goodness and beauty follow me. Peace and joy accompany me. Happiness and wholeness fill my entire being with the realization of love and perfection. And so an especially wonderful time to hear these words and to know that we can make that our reality regardless of what seems to be unfolding around us. And so we release these words in the full realization that this is one of the very, very principles upon which our entire teaching is founded and known. We are so grateful that the words of our founder are with us always. And so we release this, we allow it to be so, we claim it to be our current experience and our future possibilities in every part of our lives. And we say together, so it is.
And so it is.
Yes, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you so much, Greg. My goodness. I love his libraries and his Bibles, all his references. Where does that man get everything from? And you thought he was the wise one. That we have a wise, even the wiser one leading this pack is our spiritual director. I cannot wait to bring him onto the pulpit too, because he's going to maybe elevate our awareness. I don't know. So please put your hands together for Reverend Alan Young.
Well, thanks for that introduction. Thanks for that wonderful prayer and meditation. And thanks to all of you for being here. I'm Mr. CSLP this morning. I couldn't get my name to come up, but everybody knows who I am. So that's all good. I'll fix that. And so the title of this talk is Elevation of Awareness. And it's really a talk about our awareness, how our awareness is forever growing. Whether we choose to work with it or not, it's always growing. As long as we're alive, as long as we're human, we're going to keep growing. Because if we're not growing, we're dying. Now, there's a universal truth about life. And that universal truth is that all life is growing and dying at the same time. And we do this every day. When we go to bed at night, that's kind of like a death. But we wake up in the morning. And we keep doing that for 80 years or however long we're going to be on the planet. And all parts of our being as humans are interrelated and they react to one another. So this awareness is spread around, as we'll see as I go on. Like the universe, we are, as I mentioned, expanding. And not only are we expanding our growth, we're expanding at an expanded rate. What we humans know now, what we knew 10 years, 20 years ago, we're learning much faster at a much faster rate. So every year, our growth rate is accelerating, our knowledge is accelerating, AI is really boosting us forward. But just goes to show, just as the universe is expanding at an expanding rate, so are we. Spirit is forever pushing us forward, pushing us toward wholeness, pushing us toward integration, because that's really what Spirit's desire is for us. Now, we all have some common features and common psychological traits, and the universe integrates them all the time. We have an intellect, no disagreement with that. We have a physical body. We have emotions. We have intuition. And the spirit is in the middle, juggling and making them all work together. The intellect we call our conscious mind, our objective analytical mind, and that's where words come from, is the intellect. We have a physical body, which has 5 senses. And the physical world around us is also part of those 5 senses, as well as the structures within us, within our body that we can't see. Doctors can see it with certain devices, but we can't see. There's physical stuff going on inside, physical stuff all around. That's part of our physical body. We have an emotional nature, which is subjective. Everybody has a subjective side. Everybody has feelings. Some of us have compassion, some more than others. And we have times for reflection when we reflect on things. That's part of the feeling, part of us. And we have an intuitive nature, which means we have an inner voice that tries to observe and help us understand what's going on. And every time we have an intuitive hit, basically what we're doing is planting a seed. Every time we get an intuitive bit of information, we can act on it or not act on it. But basically, it's a seed that is either planted in bad soil or planted in fertile soil, and we can allow it to grow. Now, these 4 parts are actually closely related, psychological parts, driven by spirit. Spirit is in the driver's seat. Spirit is constantly pushing us forward and demands continued progress. That's its demand for us, to be progressive. We're not here to just enjoy life and take in all the good things without giving anything back to life. We're here to co-create with life. Spirit keeps us growing even after we withdraw from life, even after we leave this planet, even after we die. We're still growing because spirit can't be stopped, and we're part of spirit. Can't be cut, can't be burned, can't be destroyed. It's here. It's infinite. Our human and spiritual lives are always working together. Sometimes we know how they're working together. Sometimes we don't. Things happen. We think it's a mystery or someone's giving us bad news or whatever. But it's all part of Spirit's plan in many ways, because we have a law that responds to us in every way. Now, these parts can move in the same direction, and often they do, but sometimes they don't move in the same direction. Sometimes part of us are happy and part of us are sad, exactly the same time. There's a lot of dualities within us. Now, I want to try to expand this a little bit with a metaphor. Sometimes metaphors help us think about things beyond words and give us a picture of how we're connected. So there's 4 phases of life that I mentioned. These 4 parts of who we are can really be thought of as phases of life, from sunrise to sunset. There's 4 phases from sunrise to sunset. Every single day of life, we have that. And these 4 phases are set in motion by the sun. This wonderful sun we have. It's been around and will be around for, I don't know, millions of years. It's not forever though, but it is. That's our center. It's our physical center. The sun is a central star in our solar system. It's a symbol of life, energy, love. It has many parts. And it's a symbol of truth. And I could go on, or you can too, with what does the sun represent as a symbol. I'm going to give just a few pointers and then get into the parts that the sun regulates. So it's universal symbol of life, consciousness, truth. And on the 4th day of creation, when we first open the Bible, Genesis 1. There's Genesis 1, Genesis 2, and they're both creation myths. But the first Genesis is the one about cosmology. That's how did we get here? And on the fourth day of creation, even before humans were created, God set in the sky the sun to rule the day and the moon to rule the night. And for us to use as guides to live by. And sometimes we do live by those guides quite a bit, actually, even when we don't know it. And certainly we do when the sun rises and the sun sets. And when the moon is out at night, we can see a few things going on there. But now there's a daily journey the sun makes. From the point of view of being on Earth, it looks like the sun moves around the Earth. In reality, the Earth moves around the sun, but we're not looking at the sun-centered movement of the sun. We're looking at the Earth-centered movement. So from where we stand, it looks like it rises in the east, sets in the west, rises in the east, and does that every day of our life. It's been doing that since Earth has been around. Now, this daily journey is really a metaphorical representation of the existence of birth and death. Spirit, like the sun, is always giving. So in some ways, it could be seen as a metaphor for the sun. Spirit is also love. The more love we have, the more spirit we have. The more spirit we have, the more love we have. The two go hand in hand. And it's a symbol of the heart as well. Love is a symbol of heart. It's always giving, like love is trying to always give. Every day it's giving energy. It just shines the light on everything. It's giving consciousness, or it's a symbol of consciousness, I should say. It's really the source of all life on the planet. Everything needs the sun. All of us need the sun. All life forms need the sun. Now let's dive into these four symbolic states that the sun puts us through every day. It's part of life, part of the growing process. We all have an experience of sunrise, sunset every single day. People experience it a little differently, but it's the same thing for everyone. So let's talk about these four symbolic states as the sun makes his journey around the earth every single day. First thing we notice is sunrise. And sunrise represents, generally speaking, the conscious mind. It represents subjective thinking. Why would I say that? Because that's when we first wake up. We start looking around almost like a newborn. You wake up and you're looking around and what's going on with this beautiful world? Or maybe you don't even know if it's beautiful yet because it hasn't been defined. But it's a new beginning, a new birth. And it's a new way of judging the world because we're coming into life, we're learning things in our head, but we get to judge whether we like it or don't like it through some kind of representation of what we think is going on. But thinking is the first thing that happens. That's the beginning. The midday sun, which happens around noon and is considered midday up to about 6 o'clock. That's the second phase of the sun. So sunrise is from 6 a.m. to 12 noon. We all experience that. And it's sort of objective thinking. From noon to sunset, it's really a focus on the physical part of who we are. Why do I say that? This part of elevating our awareness allows us to see the objective world with great clarity. We see the buildings, we see the ocean, we see everything. If you close your eyes, all that's gone. But as long as your eyes are open, you can see all these physical things that are there, and there's a lot of light shine on them. Even artificial intelligence is part of this physical world. We couldn't use it without physical computers and without using the mind to put all this information in, all these programs within it. But basically, midday is when we really get clear on also the law and order of life, so to speak, because we're seeing with the naked eye. Then we have sunset. Everybody experiences sunset. What does sunset represent? I think it represents introspection. It represents feelings. It represents the beginning of peace because we're slowing down a little bit, connecting with other people, connecting with those we feel close to. It's the beginning of emotional processing. What happened during the day? And we have closer relationships with people usually at that time of day than we do early in the morning or midday. But sunset is a time of love, gratitude, and judgments of things based mainly on feelings, not so much objectively how we analyze and look at them. And then we have, after the sunset, we have the midnight sun. we call it sun, but it's really not the sun. It's the moon that's being reflecting some sunlight. But basically, midnight to sunrise is considered the lesser light. And it's also like a situation where we inherit this every single day, and it's the world of dreams. The veil between the physical and spiritual world kind of disappears when we're asleep. God can do whatever he wants with us, give us dreams, give us visions, give us a whole bunch of stuff. And we're basically in a comatose state for a little while until we wake up. But that's the inherited reality we have. And midnight contains potential fears, a lot of monsters sometimes in dreams, so people don't want to deal with them. Sometimes it's profound insights come. It doesn't have to be dreams. We can just wake up in the morning and have, oh, it's a great idea I had. I don't know where it came from, but it's a fantastic idea. And midnight, that fourth phase from midnight to 6 a.m. represents the metaphysical world. That is the world behind the world behind the world we see. And at midnight, that time of night, we're living, but we're just living in a metaphysical world and the unconscious world, and it's all around us. But it doesn't last very long because our eyes open and we're started all over again. And by this process, over and over and over, the center helps us to become integrated and more elevated in our awareness by just paying attention to these states. We can't just be thinking all the time. We can't just be looking at the physical world all the time, or introspecting, or looking at our feelings, or following our feelings, or even just in a dream world. You have to have them all every day, and the sun tries to integrate that with us, and it is slowly, gradually, and all of us can probably recognize that on some level. In fact, if I ask each of you, and I'm not going to do it now because I won't sidetrack the sermon, what does sunrise mean for you? You'd have something to say about that. What about midday? What does that mean to you? And so we could add to this metaphor and really get a lot of information about these four parts of us. Now, there's sudden elevation that goes much faster than a whole day. Sometimes you can get a sudden elevated consciousness in a short space of time. How does that happen? It's actually a natural experience. It doesn't happen every day. But what happens is this thing called elevation, psychologically, is when an event happens that awakens us to something brand new we hadn't expected, and it's a powerful awakening, and we remember it for the rest of our lives in many cases. There's always room for more growth on the spiritual journey, and some of it we don't even expect, but it comes our way. Turns out just about every single spiritual practice on the planet is intended to expand our awareness. So we're in good company. Whether we do reading, whether we do meditating, whether we take classes, whether we focus on dreams, discussions, music, teaching other people, all of those things expand our awareness. Now, I'm going to just mention, and you've probably heard of all of these, an example of elevation, a couple of little simple examples of elevation. There was a movie a long time ago I saw, I mentioned this some time ago, called To Serve with Love. But it was so powerful to me that I just remember it to this day, just the message of it and how powerful it was. There was a talk once a fellow gave named Martin Luther King titled, I Have a Dream. Even hearing that speech today kind of elevates my awareness a little bit more. So that's an elevation of experience. It just happened. Speech was short, 8 minutes, I think. But a lot of people heard it throughout the nation. A lot of people got their awareness elevated. And the other one I'll just mention quickly is in 2008, someone got elected to be president of the United States named Barack Obama. That night, it was like an elevation of awareness. Wow, look at that. Didn't take a whole lot to get to there, but once he got there, all of our awareness was elevated. So this can happen. There was even a fellow in my neighborhood when I was going to the Baptist church, would always come out every morning at 6 o'clock with two big white gloves on his hands, stand almost in the middle of the street and just say, have a nice day. That's all he did. Have a nice day. He did that for almost 20 years. And most people in the Bay Area that drive down Martin Luther King Way know who this is. They don't know his name, but they know, where is the man? Have a nice day. Well, that's an elevation of awareness as well. Small level, but that happens. Now, much of our purpose in life is beyond what we can see. That's no mystery, but most of our purpose in life, we can't really see it. We don't have to search for it, though. Our purpose will find us when we're ready for it. If we're not ready, it's not going to find us. Being open to new information and ideas expands our horizons if we're just open to it. Self-discovery leads to growth and pursuing our purpose in life. We can understand our purpose by being receptive to our inner intuitive and spiritual nature. If we're not receptive to it, then it's not going to reveal itself to us because it comes from within. Now, a question I'll leave you with, you can answer it anytime you want, any way you want, because people may have a little different answers. That is, does Spirit's purpose find us, or do we have to look for it? Whatever your answer is, why is that the answer? Do we have to look for our purpose, or does the purpose find us? Why, and whatever your answer is, why is that the case? A little bit, I was toying with that and said, oh, that's kind of interesting. Yeah, sometimes I have to search and dig and try to find my purpose. Other times, boom, it just drops on me and says, oh, that's what I should be doing. I never thought about that before. Okay. Now, so most of our purpose is beyond what we can see. It turns out some things we can see that we don't think are inhibiting our awareness, inhibit our awareness quite a bit. What is that? Modern society, societal norms. They limit our values. Why? Because society says we should do things this way, and we all agree with it, but that kind of excludes spirit a little bit. Modern life places a value on conforming to social norms like external success, like material possessions, like competition, who's the baddest, who's the fastest, who's got the most money, and those things we look up to, and that kind of puts a damper on our spiritual growth quite a bit. Suppressing the hidden aspects of life that don't fit in tend to limit our spiritual growth. And we do that sometimes. Well, I don't like this part of my nature. I'm going to be quiet about that. Or I'm not going to expose myself to this experience because it might it might interfere with where I want to go. Now, ignoring our inner world clearly and ignoring our emotions, ignoring our intuitions clearly limits our spiritual growth. And you can't eliminate these things completely, but we can do a pretty good job of it. Even though modern life hinders us, this thing called individuation, term coined by Carl Jung, a psychologist, is that we have many, many parts, almost like a big giant puzzle. And in life, we're supposed to learn how to put this puzzle together and how to understand that there's no identical parts to the puzzle, and that every part is a part of us. There's no carbon copies. Everybody gets a different puzzle to put together. Everybody gets different parts to put together, but it's all going in the same direction. And sometimes the societal norms can be pushed aside, and we say, I know that's the wide path, but I'm taking the narrow path because this is my mission. Now, another thing that limits our awareness is what's called blinders. You know, these horses have these things on their eyes so they can only see forward when they're running. And it's for a good purpose, I guess, if they're in competition. But we do that without having anything physical there. We have horse-like blinders. And that what it does is it prevents, well, it allows us to have an excessive focus on what we're looking at with the blinders, but it eliminates everything else. So having a singular focus excludes things outside of that scope, and that could be harmful for our awareness. Removing the blinders allows us to see beyond limited awareness. We may have to deal with a few distractions, but that's part of life. That's part of growth as well. Now, without expanding our narrow focus, we limit our clarity, we limit our direction, we limit a whole bunch of stuff. Blinders serve to keep us focused. So there is a purpose for them that's good, but we need to regulate how much we're going to leave those blinders on, because they really can help us receive inner guidance. But if we're too focused on the same thing, we exclude the rest of the world. So we have to participate in everything. We do have these big four parts. We do have a sunrise part, and et cetera, et cetera. Now, acting on Spirit's messages and guidance is what we should do with expanded awareness. That's what we're here to do, is to act on Spirit's, what Spirit is. That's what we're put here to serve the divine, not the other way around. Although people think God should be helping me with this, and this. Well, are you helping God? Which is also helping yourself and the planet. Now, listening before acting is a good thing to do always. Just listen to your intuition if it's coming from an intuitive source. And there's different kinds of intuition I should mention. It's not just your the standard intuition through the third eye. Some people have intuition through just feeling. Some people have it through hearing voices. Some people have it through just what's called a gut reaction. And there are different forms of intuition. They're all valuable, but you need to listen to it. Now, if someone has an idea or crosses our mind that we haven't considered or spoken to in a while, that little person that crossed our mind or that thing that crossed our mind might be an intuitive flash and a seed for taking some action. Oh, maybe I should call that person up. Why did that person enter my mind? Not for no reason. So maybe that's an omen to take some action in that direction. Not everybody that comes to mind, but sometimes that's a good thing to do. At times, the nudge may be to pause a project due to some resistance we're having with the project that we don't understand. But by backing away from that project, sometimes we can dissolve that resistance and say, oh, that's why I'm having trouble with this. Elevating our awareness requires work and requires effort. Although sometimes we get some easy shots at it, like someone gets elected to president for the first time or one of those things. Elevation of awareness requires work and requires effort. It requires us to choose to expand our awareness, much like we need to choose to maintain our body. If we don't maintain our body and maintain our health, what happens? Well, all of us would have some stories to tell about that. Pursuing spiritual growth requires study, diligence, and persistence. There's a saying we have, pray without ceasing, meaning to stay in constant communion with God. Attaining elevated awareness deepens our understanding and our passion for catching divine truths. I'm getting close to the end, but I'm not quite there yet, almost. Now, through continued spiritual practice, we can keep our minds and hearts in great health. Just by spiritual practice, it's a way to get a healthy heart, healthy mind. There's no need to be arrogant, even though even spiritual people have arrogance. If you know a lot, you're a practitioner and you learned a whole bunch, or you're a minister and you learn a lot of things, or you're whomever, but you know a lot, and arrogance comes with it. Why? Because you know more than most people or the people around you. However, it's good to have compassion and good to tone that arrogance down, because it doesn't sort of fit with spirituality. But just as people that are not spiritual have arrogance, people that are spiritual have a certain amount of arrogance too. Why don't you get this, dummy? We would never say that to a client or a congregant, because doesn't work that way. But people do have this inner part that's sort of there. So along with confidence comes awareness and knowledge. This is another piece of it, is confidence. Where does confidence fit in? Well, that's actually another talk. Emerson did make an interesting comment when I was putting this talk together. And he says, as we move our ego aside, we allow divinity to shine through. And so that's a nice statement. When we move our ego aside, we allow divinity to shine through. When we actively explore our transcendent purpose, we naturally elevate our conscious awareness. As we move our humanness aside, we gain greater awareness through understanding, elevated understanding in particular. Now, a couple of closing remarks, just comments about the whole topic that I think would be the benefits of elevated awareness. And everybody here could probably give a whole talk on what happens if you know more. What happens if your awareness is elevated? How would you explain that? Well, there's so many ways to do it, but here's a couple. So, positive, elevated awareness helps us to be positive and deepens our understanding and passion for spiritual growth. Elevated awareness helps us to expand our positivity, or to be positive. It lifts our understanding of divine truths and continued growth. It allows us to be a vessel for spirit to flow through freely. And finally, we continue to rise in our spiritual journey and remain open, humble, and filled with faith the more we elevate our awareness. Doesn't take away the arrogance, but all those things are true and added to us. Now, I'm going to invite you to just kind of go with me for a moment as I give thanks for this service today. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being able to deliver the message. Thanks for those who are hearing the message, whether they hear it now or later. I say thank you, Father, Mother, God. So as we move through this day and through this time of life, I say thank you, God, for everything that is and everything that is to come. I want to ask you to take in a deep breath right now. And sometimes I just say, breathe in the whole world. With this breath, I'd like you to breathe in the whole cosmos. It's just an imagination. And what the mind imagines to be true, the body begins to obey. So breathe in the whole cosmos. Hold it for a count of 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. And breathe out peace. Now, take in one more breath, but this time breathe in 8 billion people who live on the planet into your heart. Just breathe them in. Peace. So once again, I say thank you, God, for all that is. Thank you for this service. Thank you for looking over CSLP. Thank you for all the participants this morning and for all those who are willing to listen to truth wherever it is taught, for we honor it, we lift it up, we praise it. The truth, generally speaking, is truth. And we bless the truth and give thanks for it wherever it is taught. And whoever needs healing today, tomorrow, or whenever, there's a great healer in our midst. It lives inside of us. It's all around us. All we need to do is open our hearts and minds to allow it to do its work. And with that, I say thank you, Father, Mother, God, as I release these words into spirit, knowing that they will be acted upon and are being acted upon right now. And I simply close this by saying, and so it is. Amen.
And so it is. Thank you, Reverend Allen. And Reverend Allen's going to be followed by a brand new day by the Kingdom Choir.
Day, and it's just that every day is a brand new one, and we get to choose what we do with it. Please do welcome to the stage Colette Watson Blythe. For a brand new day.
Wow, who chose that song to follow Reverend Allen's talk? Woo-hoo! A brand new day, a brand new day. Yeah. Well, did you all learn something from Professor Allen? Of course you did, huh? Not only was it just a sunrise and a sunset, you didn't know there were 4 stages, didn't you? Yeah, there's that noon sun, and then there's that midnight sun. Who would have ever thought of calling the moon the midnight sun? Yeah, absolutely. Well, for all that we have learned from Professor and Reverend Allen today, I just want to say, to serve with love. Yeah. Come on. We want to sing to him. You know, the time has come for closing books and looking, look, my friend. Yeah. We give thanks to you, Reverend Allen, to serve with love. Okay. Now, if we've gotten anything from the service, we are going to be giving back to our CSLP. How to do that? Yes, definitely. We have the, I'm told don't go PayPal. Yeah, I think that's the case. You know, Zelle or Venmo or a check. So if you just go onto our website, find that green button, and it will just guide you, prompt you to do what you need to do. Yes. So while you're doing that, I love that Joe always comes out with that Karen Drucker music. Oh, yeah. But before doing so, are we going to see the giving statement first, or are we going to hear that Karen Drucker sound? What do you think, Joe?
Statement first.
Okay, statement first. There you go. All right. You could unmute if you'd like, so that was just not my solo. I'd like to hear all of us put our feelings into this giving statement. Okay, I will begin. I bless this gift with all my love. As I give, I embody prosperity and abundance, knowing I am fully supported by the universe. This is a symbol of my love and gratitude. It does great work
in the world
and returns to me easily, effortlessly, and often. Now can we hear Karen Drucker? Oh, please. Thank you. Thank you. So blessed, I am grateful. Hear my heart. So blessed, I am grateful with every breath. So blessed, so grateful. Thank you. I am great. I promise in this I am great to keep my heart. I am great with every breath. Thank you. I am grateful. Thank you. I promise in this moment to keep my heart wide open with every breath I take. I promise in this moment to keep my heart wide open with every breath I take. I'm grateful. I am grateful, grateful. I am grateful. I am grateful. I am grateful. I am grateful. Oh, I'm so grateful for Karen Drucker. And I'm so grateful for Joe. He knows exactly when I say I want that song. Yeah. But now I'm going to bring somebody else up to help us enhance our gratitude, which is he is our practitioner for the day. Greg, please come up and help us bless the tithing and the offering.
Glad to do that. Okay. So let us know together that when we give, we are practicing one of the most ancient, tried and true principles of spirituality. Because when good comes to us, and I'm sure if any of us looks around right now, we can see many good things in our lives. Perhaps a warm and comfortable place to live, a kitchen full of wonderful food that we've gotten to choose for ourselves. Parks, we can walk outside and be safe and walk around and meet people. There's so many things. Our lives are full of abundance. And when we're given something, if we learn a new skill, say we take an art class, do we then just keep that in our mind and never use it? No, we make paintings and we share it with the world. If someone gives you an inheritance, do you bury it in a box in the backyard? No, you invest it and it comes back to you, pressed down and multiplied. Everything in life needs to keep moving in order to be powerful and to multiply. If we don't do that, we stop the flow. And when we stop the flow, pretty soon, no more good can come to us. So we may think, well, I'm going to hang on to what I got. Well, we remember the story of the 3 talents, I think it was in the Bible. The son who just hung on to what he had at the end of that period of time was all he had, that one coin his father had given him. The other brothers went out and invested it and came back blessed many times over, pressed down and multiplied, as we like to say. So it is with CSLP. This is such a wonderful teaching and brings so many blessings into our lives, not to mention the fellowship and the events and this wonderful music and these wonderful talks. But if we don't give, this institution cannot go on. It cannot exist. We block the flow and it ceases to exist. We don't want that to happen. So of course, we share our good. We share our good knowing that it does go forth and do great work in the world. And part of that great work is this very institution that we're a part of. So I just invite all of us to give and to celebrate the fact that we have the opportunity to support something as precious to our lives as this center and the people that make it up. And so I bless everything it has received in absolute gratitude, right to that depth that Karen sings so beautifully about. And we know in our hearts that what we are doing returns to bless us as well, sometimes in ways we could never have imagined. So we release this and we stay together, and so it is.
And so it is. Well, my goodness, my friend, has your awareness been elevated? Remember, the minute it has, what was promised to you? More positivity. Were you even paying attention? Yeah, I might even test you next week to see if you can name those 4 faces. Yeah, okay. No, you heard from Reverend Allen. Validation's going to happen. Events going to happen. And it's just like Greg says, invest in what matters. So before we go take on the day, let's take a look at the announcement. What else does CSLP have to offer us? Ooh, there you go. The happening. Next week, it will be an in-person meeting. Yes, at Hobie's. And leading the packet class will be to Sir again. He's going to be giving us another talk. So come for the food, come for the camaraderie, and we actually give ourselves physical hugs. Yes. Are there any other announcements? Well, you're going to have your Zoom hangout afterwards. Reverend Allen, what do you think? At what time?
But try, 11:15, 11:20 in there. I can't give an exact time because I don't know how long my prayer is going to be in.
Oh,
11:15, 11:20, somewhere in there.
whoa, you know, this man has been gifting to himself as well. I was going to say he's full of it. No, that's good. That's good. You know, his talk has not ended because all of you are having all kinds of thoughts, you know, like, wow, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try that. Absolutely. Okay. All right. So come on, Reverend Allen. Everything has to come to an end at some point. Please help us with that benediction.
I invite all of us to put our attention on that quiet place. When I ended my talk, I talked about breathing in the cosmos. and breathing in everyone in the world. This time I would simply ask you to breathe in all of our leaders in government. Breathe them into your heart. And breathe out loud. Once again, breathe in those leaders. You can go beyond government leaders. Breathe them into your heart. They all need love. Dear Father, Mother God, who's everywhere present, how sacred is thy nature and comforting thy presence. We understand that your will is being done here and on all planes through each of us right now. We understand and accept that one life enriches all of us. It contains prosperity, abundance, health, peace, happiness, and so much more. We accept our daily needs are being met because they are being met, and our prayers are being answered because they are being answered. We simply need to open ourselves to receiving the answers. Know with me that love, happiness, and contentment are always ready to express themselves right where you are. The divine presence is everywhere, waiting to heal us in mind, body, and spirit. Just as raindrops flow down and collect into streams, and streams collect into rivers, and rivers return to the ocean, we're all headed in the same direction. That's where we came from. We came from the oceans, we return to the oceans. And if it's not the oceans, we return from the unconscious and go back to it every day. As we leave this sacred place, I say, let there be peace on earth. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Wherever you are, whatever you're going through, I accept unlimited love for you and blessings for you. And with a grateful heart, I release these words to the mind of the one, which is part of our mind, and invite you to simply say with me, and so it is.
So it is.
And so it is. And so it is.
Telling tales and biting nails are gone, but in my mind, I know they will still live on and on.
Was that a surprise?
You know you all are gonna go and look for that song, aren't you? Yes, you are. Yeah, I have it all lined up, but I said better not let Joe do my music. Joe, I was looking for To Serve with Love and I found it.
Okay, I'm just wondering what that was. Oh, you found it? Well, you can share it if you want.
No, you my music man. You my music man.
Oh, I don't have it queued up.
You don't have it.
Elliot, play it.
Play it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd have to go look for it. Yeah.
You do. Okay. Well, there's different versions of it. I think here goes the. Oh no, but you know when I look for it, it's asking me to sign up for Amazon
Oh,
Oh,
Music.
okay.
Well,
All right, well, we'll catch it later.
Okay. All right.
yeah. Next
All right.
week you'll be
Okay, bye-bye.
speaking.
okay.
Okay, bye.
See you soon.
Okay.